Hello PowerPoint. Today's power topic is how to write a good story in a limited time. We are going to cover how to write a story, what features should you include in your story to make it sound good, and up-leveling your sentences. What is up-leveling? We're going to learn in today's video. Also, stay tuned till the end because I'm going to give you some tips and habits to make you a good writer. So in today's video, I'm going to be changing your point of view of how you see this topic from this to this. Let's get started. Before you learn how to write a good story, you first need to know how to write a story. And this is how. First, you need to identify where is your story taking place, which means you need to identify the setting. Next, identify the protagonist. The protagonist is the leading character. Then, identify the problem. And when you start to write as if you've experienced the situation. Remember that you're the spectator and you have watched every single action and now you are just writing your narrations. And when you edit like you are the teacher. Give yourself a feel. And always get a feedback. The story may sound good to you, but not others. Also, you can type down a short story and I will give you feedback on that. Next, we'll move on to what features should you include in your story to make it sound professional. Figurative language and imagery language. These two are really important. You must use this in your story writing and show your skills to the examiner. Let the examiner know that you have these two skills. This really helps you get good marks in your story writing. So let me tell you more about these two. Figurative language. Figurative language is when you describe something by comparing it to something else. The words or phrases that are used don't have a literal meaning. It uses metaphors, similes, hyperboles, and other examples to help describe the object you are talking about. Why figurative language is important in writing. Using figurative language is an effective way of communicating an idea that is not easily understood because of its abstract nature or complexity. Imagery. Imagery in any sort of writing refers to descriptive language that engages the human senses. Imagery includes language that appeals to all of the human senses, including sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Here is an example of how adding imagery enhances your writing. This is the original sentence. She drank water on a hot day. The sentence looks quite simple and you won't get much marks for that. But if you add imagery, it looks like this. The cool, refreshing water quenched her thirst as the scorching sun radiated on her. Would you prefer the first sentence or the second one? I'm pretty sure you're gonna prefer the second one. Because as you read the sentence, a picture was formed in your mind that there is actually a girl who drank water to quench her thirst. And imagery is sort of like up-leveling sentences. Now what is up-leveling sentences? Before we move on, special thanks to Miss INOKA for preparing the next slide. To up-level a sentence is to make a boring sentence interesting by including more advanced grammatical features such as changing the sentence, "The cat sat on the cushion," into "contentedly, The sleepy tabby cat sat on the comfortable soft cushion while her owners were out shopping. So, you see there's so much difference in these two sentences. Now what have I added? I have added fronted adverbials, expanded noun phrases, and subordinating conjunctions. Contentedly is the fronted adverbial. You can add this to any sentence. And I've also added expanded noun phrases. Sleepy, tabby, comfortable, soft. Also, you can add a subordinating conjunction. While her owners were out shopping. So make sure whenever you uplevel a sentence, these three must be in. And I'll give you another example. She wore a grey jumper. Into an old grey jumper was carelessly slung over her shoulders. So this sentence is much better. Okay, so it's time for power homework. You have to uplevel this sentence. My mom went to the shop. You can comment down your answers in the comment section below. Well, I feel like story writing seems pretty boring to all of you. But I'm gonna be giving you some tips and habits which will make story writing fun. So, are you ready? And before that, I'll just like to inform you that I will start posting daily worksheets for you to practice in Google Classroom once this channel reaches 1K subs. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please now. The first tip I'm going to be giving you is to practice. Make a habit of noticing what's going on around you, from the exciting to the mundane, by writing things down as they catch your attention. Whenever you go outside, keep a notebook or your phone and you can write a story. You can write everything you feel around you. You can write a descriptive story. You know, even those snippets of conversation you overheard at dinner or the car you witnessed going the wrong way down the freeway during rush hour could all spark in a story. And if you're old school, keep a small notebook or some index cards. And also, if you are practicing this habit, give yourself a medal. Learn a word or phrase every day. Make this your habit. And when you learn a new word, try to make sure that you understand the word thoroughly, because it's even mentioned in the machine of the Cambridge papers that they ask the teachers to check if the words the students have used is used accurately in the sentence or not. So make sure that you don't use words that you are not sure of. Maybe you don't know the spelling or you don't know how to use it, but you just do it for the sake of good marks. So don't take the risk. Don't dare to do that. Also, you remember me sharing this word old school. So I'm going to give you a new vocabulary today. Old school can be used as a noun or an adjective. The opposite of this word is new school. So if you use it as a noun, it means used, usually approvingly, to refer to someone or something that is old-fashioned or traditional. If you used it as an adjective, it means having or adhering to old-fashioned values or ways. For example, that restaurant is old-fashioned. Also, it would be really great if you could set up reminders in your phones so that their phone reminders could remind you of learning a new vocabulary. The third tip is Listen to English songs and don't only listen to them. Observe the lyrics carefully because they have very good language. Seriously, they have very good figurative language and it's really good for you. I'm not sure if you have heard that song Believer, but I'll post a link in the description and you can go check it out. It uses this sentence, I was choking in the crowd. Now, this is a really good figurative language. It does not literally mean that he was choking, but it was like so much rush that he was kind of choking in the crowd. And another example here, falling like ashes to the ground. This is a simile. Also, whenever you learn a new phrase, try to write it down because writing improves your memory. Also, don't just leave it in your book to stay for years. Speak it up. Speak it up with your friends so that you don't forget the word. You have to make a habit to read newspapers. This is really beneficial for you. You can read newspapers such as The Guardian, BBC, or any other, but English. Yeah, of course. So, what are the advantages of reading newspapers? Newspaper reading also improves writing and reading skills of an individual besides providing information from around the world. It's also an affordable and valuable source of learning. It enriches your thoughts and helps you form opinions. And I would like to add a point here. Whenever you go to any news such as The Guardian or BBC, try to go to the opinion section. It's really good. You should try and check it out. And most importantly, you get to know the format of newspaper writing deeply. You cannot learn everything in school. You have to do things practically. Also, newspaper helps us get acquainted with the current affairs of the world. I would like to thank Miss PREMA for giving this point. Last but not the least, don't tell, show. When you are writing a story, please remember that you yourself are in the story, you're the spectator, and you felt all the actions, you have watched it live, and you're just reporting it. You're writing your narrations in a written form. This is a very important point. This is a technique to get you good marks in your writing section in your exams. Also, I would like to give you a tip. Use short sentences to create suspense. If you're writing a story like this, maybe when you're about to state the problem, try to use short sentences. I've actually mentioned this in my video called the narrative story writing format, so you can check it out that too. Also, try to use descriptive language. Up-level your sentences. And yes, you can check out my video, narrative story writing format. I'll give the link below in description. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, and please don't forget that now we post thrice a week. We post on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So don't forget to check out our videos. If you enjoyed this video and you've learned something new, please subscribe to the channel.